The start of the fall season brings with it new opportunities to volunteer. Several organizations commemorate September 11th as a day of service. Students returning to school start volunteer projects and groups and missions begin to plan their work. Travel Television encourages volunteerism through these stories. In 1987, Montgomery County created Make a Difference Day, a day when county residents would lend a helping hand to those in need. Make a Difference Day has since gone national, and Montgomery County continues its long and storied tradition of serving others. Travel Television captured several of these volunteers giving back to the community. First, we went to Button Farm, where a local Girl Scout troop participated in the Make a Difference Day activity of helping to restore the farm. The day kicked off with a welcoming introduction to the farm.
Welcome to the Button Farm, developing its Button Farm Living History Center. Over the next 8 months, the house, historic barn, pavilion, and other outbuildings will be restored to use for the public and for our programs here at Button Farm.
And a joyous ribbon cutting ceremony before the volunteers got down to work.
We are always trying to find good causes to help people, like serving at soup kitchens or places that they need help.
I'm here because I think that community service is a really great thing to do.
We thought it would be nice to help tidy up and stuff the Button Farm.
We're helping with the gardens.
We're weeding and fluffing up dirt.
We're going to help put these flower beds and things to rest.
We're gonna make them ready for next spring.
We want to make this place better so people can learn about the Underground Railroad.
I think it's a really nice thing that this historical place is educating kids, and we'd like to make it really nice.
The county's had a long history of volunteerism. It really started well over 25 years ago with Bruce Adams, who conceived of the idea of Community Service Day, and it's something that has gone national now, but we've had 25 years of it, and so it's really a hallmark of the county to get people out to volunteer in a variety of projects, and here at Button Farm is just one example of that.
Travel Television also visited A House with a Heart, a senior pet sanctuary in Gaithersburg, where volunteers give back by caring for the pets and assisting with the upkeep of the house.
We're at the pet sanctuary known as House with a Heart. I'm Tommy Duffy, and here we are taking care of dogs that are special needs or old and owners don't have the money to take care of them anymore. Well, I come here and volunteer because, well, at first I just needed SSL hours, but now I'm getting to know some of the dogs, and I think I'm going to keep doing it for a while.
My name is Bob Bedell. We came to visit the House with a Heart about a year ago, my wife and I, and liked it, so we decided to volunteer here. We come here once or twice a week and help out with the animals and cleaning up the yard and that type of thing, and whatever needs to be done. Sitting down with the animals, spending 15 minutes, a half hour holding a pet or have them climb all over you. The animals, you can't believe how much they appreciate just having somebody hold them and pet them. I mean, there's no substitute for the human touch. It's just an amazing thing that they're doing here for taking care of animals.
There's a lot of things that aren't as good as they could be, so I think it's just our right as people of the community to help out however we can. whenever we can.
We encourage people to be very active, participate in our local form of government, and to get out and give back to the community, because there's no way for us as a government to provide all the resources and programs that are needed. But with volunteerism, the commitment of our community to go out and do things in the community, it helps us a very, very long ways in fulfilling what I think is really an obligation to give back. Montgomery has a wonderful program, Montgomery Serves. It's a site that you can go on and look at. It's been donated really by some of our volunteers who donated and put it together. So volunteers serve, go to our website. If you can't find it, just go to www.montgomerycounty.gov and we'll be able to get you the link there too.
Volunteering is a great team-building exercise for corporate employees. Multiple nonprofit agencies working together for volunteer projects include the improvement on the Wilkins Avenue Emergency Women's Shelter, run by Interfaith Works. A group of Choice Hotel employees volunteered there through their corporate foundation. The need was identified through the Rebuilding Together chapter. Travel Television hopes to make this an ongoing series, wherein we highlight organizations working together on projects within their community. Send us information about your activities. In the meantime, let's join the employees of Choice Hotel at the shelter.
Hi there, my name is Kelly Kane. We are here today to rehab the Wilkins Center Interfaith Works Women's Shelter here in Rockville, Maryland. We're here with about 80 employees from Choice Hotels International. We're one of the largest hotel companies in the world. We are here to do loads of different volunteer work to really make these women's lives more comfortable. Everything that they do here, we're trying to improve their quality of life.
I'm thrilled to be here today, getting a chance to support the local community and support some women in need. In this unbelievable experience for us, we get a chance to hopefully bring a little inspiration into their day when they all come back here later on today.
Why do we do it? We really want to give back to the communities where we live and work. Choice Hotels gives our employees the day off to do this. They're paid to come out here as if it's a normal work day. We feel strongly about volunteering, and that's why we're here.
With Choice Hotels International, we're very fortunate to work with Rebuilding Together, because Rebuilding Together gives us an opportunity to more or less leverage their strengths and their resources, putting together a program where we can customize it for Choice Hotels International with room to rebuild. Here in Rockville, we do this at least 2 times a year, but we do it around the country as well, where each region has their own room to rebuild program, and the platform again works perfect because our franchisees get together with our associates around the country and they put together programs much like you're seeing here today, give back in their local communities.
From a personal standpoint, I've always felt strongly about volunteering. I get my kids out, they come out with us, over the holidays, and it's just something I feel that, those of us that are a little more fortunate, we have really a duty to give back to those that didn't get so lucky or may just be falling on hard times that can happen to anyone. So it's up to all of us to kind of give people a lift, and it's a good thing to do.
The reason we got through this to this point, not that we'll ever get over it, is because we work together, hand in hand. Set aside our egos, set aside our titles, set aside whatever it is that makes people think they're different, and work together. Ground Zero itself was sort of like the magnet. People got up and they said, I gotta be there. I have to be there.
There were so many people came down to help. I mean, from all over the country, buses would come in with the Red Cross, Salvation Army, a lot of kids.
People wanted to help in whatever way they could. Some people just handed out bottles on the highway to people. Some people went to comfort children.
You'd relieve another unit, and they would go home and you would report and you would just start your digging, and searching, and sometimes you would find somebody, sometimes you found a friend.
One thing that anyone who ever worked on the site will tell you is that they cried every day inside. There were some times that you couldn't hold it. There were some times. But that's what we bring to bear.
I think that's one of the things that makes America such a great country, is that, you know, whenever such a tragedy like this happens, you know, most people would expect America to be down and out, you know, and be like so depressed and down on themselves. But if anything, it's actually the exact opposite.
I got on my knees and I prayed and I asked the Lord, let me do something for these families. Let me reach out to them and give them comfort, because I knew in my heart they needed comfort.
After 9/11, we decided to make our restaurant an anchor of the neighborhood, and we served food to whoever was there, either rescue workers, utility people, firemen, policemen, and we created a place where there was an interaction of the community.
I was looking for something to do to honor my late brother who perished on September 11th. And so a close friend of mine had this idea about starting this organization that helps inspire people to mark September 11th as a day of service.
My sister Wendy worked in Tower 1 in the World Trade Center, and unfortunately my sister did not make it on that day. I remember speaking to my friends from California and simply saying, imagine if we went to Afghanistan and we built a school there. What a kick in the head to Osama bin Laden.
Basically, we got this huge plan, and we're going to walk from Rossford to Shanksville to Ground Zero, and we're going to do it in X amount of time, and we're going to try and raise X amount of dollars, and that's pretty much how the idea started.
The mission of New York Says Thank You Foundation is every year on the 9/11 anniversary to take volunteers from New York City, send them somewhere in the country where they had a disaster, and rebuild something as our way of saying thank you for all the help we got after September 11th.
One of the most touching moments was the day of the actual opening of the school building. What I found were some of the most thankful people, people that were so excited that we were there.
We raised over $17,000 for the September 11th memorials, both in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, and also in New York City at Ground Zero. Obviously, I felt that huge sense of relief, a sense of accomplishment.
We've had great success so far. Millions of people around the world have participated on or around September 11th by doing things on a simple scale or a very large scale for others in need.
Quilts are very comforting. And to be honest with you, I didn't know how comforting until I started giving out the quilts to the families. And I started getting the response from the families. And each of those quilts are really made with so much love, and the families feel it.
For the 9/11-2008 anniversary, we're going to do the country's largest barn raising. We're going to build a 14,000 square foot barn in Greensburg, Kansas, which was a town that was 95% destroyed by an F5 tornado last May.
After 9/11, there was a tremendous spirit in the country, and I'd like to keep that going. I think that's important for a country.
People should stop and remember on 9/11, not just what happened on 9/11, but what happened on 9/12, and how they felt when they saw folks with, Chicago firefighter, badges on their sleeves showing up to direct traffic in New York, and people from small towns in California and just around the world who converged on our city. It changed us forever.
The more we keep the American spirit, the sense of unity, and the more that we care for each other, the more that we keep that alive, the better off we're all going to be in the end.
Our mission all along has really been to just capture that sense of unity and compassion that was so natural after September 11th, and build on people's inherent need to do something good for somebody else.
When an individual helps with the well-being of a community, the individual is enhanced, and the community is enhanced.
When we do these 9/11 anniversary weekend projects, hundreds of people will come up to me and say, God bless you, and thank you for what you're doing. And I tell them, hey, we're just doing what people did for us, and you want to thank me, show up at the next one.
We just got to open that little door a little wider and have people know that, what, we can make a difference.
There can be beauty from ashes. It's hard work, but it can happen.
The anniversary of 9/11 was marked by a day of service by and for veterans. Over 150 volunteers, including students from George Washington University, joined Iraq and Afghanistan war veterans to renovate and spruce up the Vinson Hall retirement community. The residents of Vinson Hall, almost all of them veterans, also pitched in to help and were joined by First Lady Michelle Obama, who picked up a paintbrush and worked with the crew.
My name's Tony Woods. I am the Coalition Director for Service Nation. I'm also a two-time Iraq War veteran, veteran of the Army. Today's September 11th, which thanks to the Edward M. Kennedy Serve America Act, is now a day of service and remembrance, and so it's an opportunity for Americans to turn a tragic event into something meaningful and powerful where we give back to our communities. And so today, as a part of the Mission Serve initiative, which brings the worlds of civilian and military service together, we've got veterans, civilians serving alongside one another. We're working hard right now to renovate a retired veterans home here in McLean, Virginia at the Vinson Center.
I'm Eric Greitens. I'm the CEO of The Mission Continues, and we're here today with the First Lady at Vinson Hall in Virginia. The First Lady has joined The Mission Continues on one of our service projects. It's taking place on September 11th. Today, The Mission Continues is doing 50 service projects around the country where we've brought out veterans of all eras and civilians of all backgrounds to serve together on September 11th. Part of our mission is to make sure that every veteran who comes home has the opportunity and the resources available to them to continue their service to our country by serving with nonprofits and charitable organizations and community organizations here at home where they are able to continue their mission of public service. We've involved volunteers in over 50,000 hours of service, and this day, September 11th, is marking the beginning of a 2-month campaign where we're going to continue to serve all the way through Veterans Day of this year. It's great for everyone to come out, and I encourage everyone to go out to missioncontinues.org.
Hi, my name is Charles Simon. I'm here with The Mission Continues. The goal of The Mission Continues is there are a lot of returning veterans, and we all want to serve our country and continue to serve after our military service is up. We have a number of people who are fellows that we sponsor throughout a year to help them set up community service, helping out young people, anything in their community to just help out.
Pearl Harbor survivor, Midway survivor.
This is the World of Montgomery Festival to commemorate the 25th anniversary of Make a Difference Day. The week-long event, which aimed to engage 25,000 volunteers, started with the World of Montgomery Festival and ended with the Make a Difference Day Volunteers Awards Ceremony, held in Silver Spring, Maryland. Let's begin with Cheryl Kagan, the Director of Fund for Montgomery.
Well, first off, the World of Montgomery Festival is the first day kicking off the 25th anniversary of Community Service Week. What a lot of Montgomery County residents may not know is that 25 years ago, Community Service Day started in Montgomery County. It then went statewide. Governor Shriver took it statewide, and then USA Today thought it was such a wonderful idea that they made it national, and it's called Make a Difference Day. But we started it right here in Montgomery County, and people today, in addition to the food and the music and the dance and the vendors, are signing up for volunteer projects. Many people are volunteering today, but they're also signing up for activities throughout the rest of the week. No matter what their areas of interest or geographic, home base, they can volunteer at some point.
We're here kicking off Community Service Week today at the World of Montgomery Festival. It's a whole week of service, October 16th through the 22nd, and we have about 6 different service projects in the tent behind me. We have volunteers kind of from all over the community doing projects. We have one volunteer from Potomac who's leading a project called the Giving Card Project. She makes cards and sells them and donates some money to charity. So we have volunteers in there helping her make some more cards. We're folding 1,000 paper cranes. So we have a lot of volunteers out here today doing great things for our community.
To celebrate the 25th anniversary,
we decided that we wanted to recruit 25,000 Montgomery County residents to participate at some point during Community Service Week, because we wanted to accommodate people's schedules and include them in all sorts of activities. Different nonprofit and community groups created projects that they needed volunteers for. So people cleaned up a park, they did canned food drives, they repaired a house for someone with a disability, they made cards for veterans, and put together care packages to send abroad to our troops. There were so many different projects going, and any resident with any language skills, any level of ability or interest level could find something that they could do near their home or place of business.
And so we appreciate those who have already signed up and who already donate so much of their time, and we always need to reach more. Montgomery County's viewers should go to www.montgomeryserves.org. They can learn about opportunities to give back in any way they choose. Student learning credit is available for students, and people can just feel so great about helping those in need.
Furious George, we love you, we love you. I want to thank all the volunteers.
There are hundreds of wonderful nonprofits that make a difference in Montgomery County. Some are enormous with multi-million-dollar budgets, and some are run out of just someone's home, and because they're passionate about making a difference. And Montgomery County is lucky to have been able to partner through this Community Service Week with all of those. And I just want to mention a few of them and recognize them. So the first person I would like to bring up is the Pink Firefighter, Marshall Moneymaker. His group is called For Three Sisters, and it supports breast cancer survivors and families and raises community awareness. And I can tell you, one of the projects that was going on right here in this building for 4 hours, we had young and old, families and individuals, students and others, sewing pink breast cancer ribbons to present to you this evening. So, to the Pink Firefighters, there are a whole bunch of them for you. We have a few more nonprofits that we especially want to recognize. I can see Mark Burkell out there from A Wider Circle. The county executive was out there this afternoon, along with dozens of people, hundreds over the last few weeks. They help collect goods, furniture, other things that make a house into a home for those people who are not able to furnish their own home. Mark is the founder, he's the executive director, he's an extraordinary leader, and he's been a wonderful partner to the Volunteer Center. Mark Burkell, congratulations. Do you want to say a word?
Thanks, Cheryl. Thanks for everybody who donates beds, dressers, tables, chairs, dishes, pots, pans, sheets, towels. We really appreciate it. We find good homes for your stuff. Thanks so much, and thanks, Cheryl.
Congratulations. A Wider Circle, a great cause to support.
Well, we had a great deal of services over the last 25 years in Montgomery County. It's really a reflection of the volunteerism, the community spirit that we have in Montgomery County. 25 years is great. We're going to do 25 more years. We're going to make it even bigger and better. 25 years of great service in Montgomery County for the many people and the many organizations that need the services and the many things that we contribute to make their life much better in Montgomery County.
Hello, I'm Carrie Keenan. I'm joined in the studio by Mark Shriver, who recently completed a book about his dad, Sergeant Shriver. Mark, how does it feel being the son of two parents who have been so instrumental in the volunteerism movement?
Well, you know, they were great parents. The name of the book is A Good Man. It's because my dad was a good guy. He treated everybody the same, as did my mom. And they were so committed to the causes that they cared passionately about. Volunteerism, getting people out involved, whether it was in Special Olympics or the Peace Corps, or here domestically in Head Start, Legal Services for the Poor, Job Corps. They created these entities because I think they really cared about making the world a little bit better place than what they found it. So it was great. I mean, I didn't know any different, obviously, but they were terrific parents, really right there in our lives, not just doing these wonderful national and international programs, but really caring about us as their children.
And so they brought their attitude of volunteering back into the family.
My mom and dad, the Special Olympics camp started right here in Rockville, Maryland, right off of Rockville Pike, and my mom ran camps for people with developmental differences until she died. So our kids, my wife Jeannie and I have 3 children, my nieces and nephews all participated in that camp. In Potomac, when my mother was much older, they participated in Best Buddies. in Special Olympics now and volunteerism on a bunch of different levels. So yes, it was very much a part of our life, no question about it. And it, you know, there's an old cliche that you get more than you give, and that's really true. You know, you learn so much from volunteerism. You learn so much from getting involved, getting your hands dirty, going down with an organization like Save the Children where I work, down into Louisiana, Mississippi after Katrina, or internationally in the Philippines where we're working now. You learn so much more, but you got to get up and go.
What impressed you most about your dad's mission of service?
Well, you know, the thing that impressed me the most about Dad was, you know, he's a real human being. He was a good father, a really good father, and did all of these wonderful things around the world. But he was in the moment. So if you were talking to him at a cocktail party, he didn't look over your shoulder. He didn't care about anybody else in the room but the person in front of him. And that's really hard to do, especially in a town like Washington. And you see that commitment to the individual, to the moment, in his call for the Peace Corps and the creation of the Peace Corps and his movement to encourage people to volunteer.
The 50th anniversary of the Peace Corps was recently observed, and the 50th anniversary of the assassination of JFK also occurs this year. What differences to the social service and volunteer agenda of JFK would be different, do you think, if those events hadn't transpired?
You know, I don't know the answer to that. I know that, you know, my father, President Kennedy, reached across the aisle to try to get things done for this country, and I think Republicans and Democrats, you know, they'd fight it out in elections, but once the election was over, I think there was much more of a sense of, okay, what can we compromise on to help move the country forward? And today I feel that in politics, there's much more of a sense of, I've got to destroy you, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, and there's much more emphasis on what separates us.